my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
انفجار انفجار انفجار. My name is Jules Warde and I'm Lebanese living in Lebanon and Beirut. So I was sitting in the office, all of a sudden, as usual, like every day at 6 p.m. the electricity goes off, and then a few minutes it comes back on, but this time it comes on and then a minute later I feel there's an earthquake. I was a former volunteer at Red Cross, the Lebanese Red Cross. So I know my first aid, I know these basic things, and I was running to the other building trying to get some people out of the building without getting them hurt. And it's all glass all around. And I felt that the building was gonna collapse because it's an earthquake. And so I ran to the other open space, a room, and I was yelling to my colleagues, earthquake, run, take the stairs, don't take the elevators, and no recognition of an explosion. And then I start hearing people saying, infijar, infijar, infijar. And I'm like, where, how, what? So my first instinct was to call my sister. I call my sister and a guy picks up her phone and he tells me, your sister is okay, but her phone is far away from her. I'm like, I'm not buying this. I need to hear my sister's voice. If she's okay, she's able to talk. And then he's like, okay, okay. And I hear her in the background telling him, give me the phone, I'll talk to her. So I talk, she takes the phone, she's like, I'm okay, but they're taking me to the hospital. I think I need a few stitches. So later on, I was able to get my car out. I get to the hospital and I'm walking into the ER, and there's a girl that's wearing a dress that's all covered in blood and her face is all covered with blood. And I look at her and I'm like, please don't let my sister be looking like her. Like, I hope my sister is not as injured as her. And then she waves and it turns out that this is my sister. So I just sat on the floor. I couldn't stop crying. The hospital was full and they couldn't accept anyone. They weren't admitting people because the capacity was more than they can handle. I tried to carry her to put her in the car, but she's all covered with blood, and she had glasses all over, so I couldn't touch her anywhere because she would be in pain. So we had to move to 5 different hospitals, and the last one that we were able to admit her in was in Jbel, and it's like, I would say 30 minutes out of Beirut. So imagine, she had more than 18 cuts in her body. She did more than 106 stitches without anesthesia because they didn't have enough material and tools at the hospitals because the capacity was more than they can handle. I wasn't able to sleep for many days after that. I kept hearing sirens when I sleep because in the ER we spend like 4 or 5 hours or more, and in the ER the sirens were non-stop because the ambulances were coming and going, so the sound was very disturbing. So now when I hear sirens, the trauma is still there, it gets triggered. Not a natural disaster, 100% sure. Okay, I think the government was so irresponsible, knowing that there are this amount of ammonium nitrate among civilians and keeping it there. It's a long way ahead. And the thing is, with Lebanon, and this is the sad part, is we never had a break from anything. I mean, the amount of love and support that you see on the street with the people standing hand by hand. Don't donate to our government, donate to NGOs, donate to the Lebanese Red Cross, because they are the people that are on the ground, they are the people that are working. And we're done with corruption.